Okay, Hazy and T in the building. We got NFL veteran Ricky Manning Jr. coming up right now. Ready? Let's go. If you like what we do, you hit the subscribe button.
Definitely. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ricky Manning Jr. Hey, I'll be joining you next on our Untouched Greatness podcast.
Haze Entertainment exclusive.
That Ricky Manning has a knack for being around the football.
That's
I don't know what
Ryan Haze and Big Mike.
The Panthers are going to the Super Bowl.
I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
What's going on, bro?
How you doing?
I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Haze and Big Mike.
You know it.
Yeah, about time that we finally got some football.
I know, right?
Yeah. How did you hold up during COVID?
Solid, man. Solid. Running all over the place, man. I got 4 boys, so just keeping them busy, man, and becoming a barber, becoming a trainer, becoming everything to them because of this COVID stuff, man. It's been great and hectic at the same time.
Yeah. So you ready to start?
Yeah, let me.
Okay. Well, you figured that out. A little about me. I Vancouver, Canada, of course. I used to be an A&R at a record label. I've done hip hop music my whole life. But I even got songs with guy Dante Marsh. You know him?
Yeah, I know D Marsh.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Well, he's from Oakland, right? I grew up in Fresno. He was in Fresno State, though. So just from being a bulldog and right around the same people.
Yeah.
No, but his is more from he was a player there, and I grew up here, so.
Yeah, that's for sure. And all the Fresno State Bulldogs, they all stay together. I always see them posting pictures.
Yeah, no doubt. Heck yeah.
What made you get into football in the first place?
Man, really, one of my older cousins used to play. We used to I grew up I stayed with him a couple of times. My family and my parents were real young parents. So we stayed with her sister and she had a younger son. Older son, he's older than me. And my cousin Roy kind of really was the first one to introduce me to playing football because he played Pop Warner football. And we just tried the front yard when I was real young. I mean, I don't even know how old, 6, something like that. And I kind of started liking football a little bit. But I didn't play until a coach saw me out there on the field just playing around in the neighborhood. He was like, "Hey, y'all want to play football?" And I was like, "Yeah." And my dad wasn't a football player. He was a baseball player. So it wasn't, he didn't really know anything about it. And I brought it home like, yeah, I want to play. So that's kind of how we got into it.
Did you play any other sports when you were growing up?
Yeah, man, I played baseball, basketball. My other main sports, I mean, I played everything, but I was volleyball, all kind of rec sports. One of my buddies' father was he was a coach at a recreation center, and he used to get all the best athletes, like all of us, to come and just play every sport. We would just dominate volleyball, but everything. But my major sports was baseball. I played basketball up to my sophomore year, but baseball was actually my number one sport. And I actually got drafted out of high school by the Twins, and I played pro baseball while I was going to college at UCLA playing football.
Oh, really? I don't even see that in my notes.
Yeah, I got drafted out. I think that by the Minnesota Twins, right? I paid me 3rd round money, and my whole baseball was my thing. Like I was just gonna play football. I wanted to play college football. NFL wasn't really in my vision. I always wanted to play college football. I just had this thing about college football and the freaking bands and the fans and all that comes with it. So I wanted that, and the plan was to go play college for 4 years and then go full time into baseball. But that changed when I started hitting people and, going to playing in the Rose Bowl in front of 90,000 people, playing these big games against Alabama, against Michigan. I was like, man, I like this, And then when my sophomore year, they started talking about I got a possibility to make it to the NFL. I was like, oh, really? And that's when I kind of started going into my head of, hey, well, maybe, I can lean on football a little bit too. So it's kind of how that came about.
Okay. I didn't even know that Minnesota Twins stat there.
Yeah, man. I play with me. Matter of fact, if you know Justin Morneau.
Yeah, he's from right around here.
Is he? Oh, yes, right.
Yeah, and I met his dad before.
Me and Justin Morneau was roommates our rookie year. We came in the same year, the Twins.
So I might have to hit you up after this, try to help us link with Morneau. That's a dream interview for us local guys.
Yeah, so me and Morneau were twins. Yeah, I mean, we came in the same draft. We were roommates. Our first year we played together 2 or 3 years. I don't know when he went up. I played with Joe Mauer for 2 years as well. Jake and Joe and like A-ball. So yeah, I think it's one other guy I played with, Justin Cooper, that actually made it to the majors. So when I started playing, when I went to NFL, those guys were like, especially like White Sox games. I remember Morneau gave me a signed bat. I came to a game and I put him aside. I didn't know if he knew I was in Chicago then because I just left Carolina, and it was pretty cool to see Morneau and Mauer, Joe and Justin. Yeah. That's right. He is Canadian cat. That's right.
Yeah, and he's right from around here. His dad sells 50-50 at lacrosse games, so when all our friends play lacrosse.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, we were straight roommates.
Yeah, tell that guy to answer direct messages once in a while. I've been waiting to get an interview from him.
I mean, I ain't talked to that dude in years. Years. We kind of, did the whole thing. But yeah, he's a cool cat though.
What was your favorite jersey number that you ever wore?
I gotta say 24. 24 probably my favorite. I was a big Charles Woodson fan coming up. I love Ken Griffey Jr. That was really one of the bigger reasons too. I was a big Ken Griffey Jr. fan. Charles Woodson, and then all the other great corners, Ty Law that wore 24 kind of got me on that. I was 9 all the way up until then. I was 9 in college, 9 in high school, number 9 in high school. But that's when you can wear single digits. In the league, you can't really do that.
What were your nicknames? Or what's your nickname now still?
Slick Rick. That's always easy with the Rick, Slick Rick. That's kind of really. I ain't got too many nicknames. It was just, it's always Slick. My boys call me today. What's up, Slick? That's it. It's always Slick Rick. So.
And not a bad rapper either.
Nah, not at all. Pioneer.
What challenges did you come across in getting to where you are today?
Personal challenges or football?
Both.
Yeah, man. Life has its challenges, period. For us, for me, growing up in Fresno, right? Fresno, California, Central California, small city, right? Small, big city, we like to call it. The no. Just trying to get respect coming out of a small city, like unknown, it's hard, especially coming up, I got overlooked. Or not necessarily overlooked, but no one didn't know, and maybe come from a small city where I see all these big city guys that get all this publication. It was like, man, so for me, I had to kind of, I never was starstruck, was never in awe of LA, coming to big city, or even when I went to Carolina or to Chicago. I just always felt like I belonged, right? I always had the confidence that I'm going to outwork anybody. So just getting past those things, coming from a small city was pretty cool. Was pretty cool part of life. And then personally, man, just being an adult, being young, coming from the hood, coming from no money, like I said, my parents, when they had me, they were 16 and 17, real young parents. No education, so I had to be real independent on a lot of things, and football and sports period, just from mentors, from coaches, from the experiences that build you up and make you tougher and resilient. It really helped shape me. It really helped shape me. Really helped shape my belief because of the experience I am, and kind of the reason why I'm in coaching. You know, like I look at the things I went through in football, just not really, I don't necessarily the struggles, but now as a coach, you know, I'm 5'8" and 3/4. You know, if I'm scouting guys, I'm not looking for 5'8" corners. I'm like, he's too small. You know, but for me playing, they didn't realize that I was a small corner, and I did some big things at you know, undersized guy. And I never thought I was undersized. You couldn't tell me I was undersized, right? So, but now looking into it, it's like, man, why did God give me that passion? Why did He give me that grace to be able to succeed and make it to the NFL? There's so many guys that go out for it, you know what I'm saying? And I was that chosen 1%. You know why? And I really think about where I am today as a coach, as a father of 4. Like, this is the reason why. My intended purpose right now, right, to give back to the next generation, you know, so I can be that much more of a voice, that much more of an influence, you know. Not just saying it, but I lived it, you know. So now when I talk, you know, kids listen, you know. So it's like, well, you know, why was I able to, you know, have success I've had? And that's exactly for now. It's for me to be able to be that much of an impact to the next generation, you know. So thankful for it, you know, and looking back on like, man, because it could have all stopped before it started too, you know. But just very thankful, man, and excited about the next chapter, you know, the coaching part, you know. So excited to see where it's going, where it'll take me.
Yeah, we got some of those questions about your coaching coming up here in a little bit. Do you have a favorite sports hero?
You know what? The crazy thing about it is I really don't have no sports heroes like that. You know, I looked at I've always been a fan of athletes and the best guys, but never like, oh, this is my guy. Now, there's obviously by position, there's guys I'm like, you know, Ricky Henderson, right? You know, I was like him. I hit doubles and singles and stole bases. So obviously, you know, Griffey, his swing was so sweet. I wasn't a power hitter, but I was an outfielder. You know, guys like that, you just look up to, obviously, the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants, and, like, you know, so it wasn't like this guy's my guy. It was just, I always respect great athletes, you know, from all sports. And there wasn't too much of my heroes, but I just try and, you know, analyze the good in them, you know.
Yeah, and Ken Griffey Jr., you can't go wrong with him. Being from Vancouver, we're only 2 hours away. So, I mean, I grew up watching all the Mariners games, and Ken Griffey was amazing.
Yeah, he's the man. Yeah,
I never seen a swing quite like that since.
Oh, it's pretty. Yeah. Love imitating that swing. He's just pretty. He's just freaking natural. He's a baller, and he's an athlete too.
Yeah.
He's an athlete too.
I feel like he could have played 2 sports as well, just like prime time.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, those dudes are crazy. I can do that. You know, I played 2 sports.
Yeah, you've done it too, right?
I love what he did. It was insane. You know, Deion is one of the best athletes, man. Deion, Bodo. I mean, to play it. You know, see, he did. I did minor leagues and college football, but he did. You know, the NFL and the MLB at the same time. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Bo Jackson is another one. Growing up, who did you try to mirror your game after?
Really, it was guys in my neighborhood that were good. You know, there was a couple guys that, I guess they were NFL players to me, you know, that were more closer in age. Not really anyone professionally. It was more those guys that I saw daily, that I saw on the block. And I used to watch them, and I just look up to some of those guys. You know, Marquise Roberts is a guy that I always look up to, because he was one of those kids that he was good in everything: basketball, baseball, football, video games. Like, he just was winning everything. So he's a couple years older than me. So he was one of the guys that, you know, some of the neighborhood athletes that were nice. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. A lot of them didn't. But to us coming up, man, they did a lot. They influenced us a lot.
Yeah, all that street ball.
Yeah, that street ball, man, that's where it's at. I tell you.
Yeah. You got to stay close to home and attend UCLA. What was it like playing for the Bruins, and what kind of feelings were that?
Yeah, it was awesome going to UCLA, man. Just down the street in LA, my parents were able to come to the game. That was, you know, one of the really main factors. I'm a California kid, man. I love Michigan because I love Charles Woodson, but I took a trip there, man. I seen that snow on the ground. I was like, I don't know about this, you know, playing baseball out here. in the winter. It's gonna be tough. So, anyways, but UCLA, man, beautiful campus, Southern California, man. Just the network, just the things I was able to see and do out there and be a part of, Hollywood and Sunset Boulevard. Like awesome experience on top of playing at a huge university for some good coaches. And with some good players, some of the guys I played with, I'm still really good friends with today. Guys I played with at UCLA and in the league, we're real pretty tight. So that was always a special moment because I got to play with Deshaun Foster and Mike Simon. We actually went from UCLA to Carolina all together. Deshaun was a year before us, but we also played 3-4 years in Carolina together on top of 3 or 4 years in college. So that was pretty cool.
Well, that's pretty awesome. What were a few reasons that you like being a part of a team sport? Well, obviously the boys and crushing a couple of beers once in a while.
The number one reason is competition, man. I'm a competitor, man, and Pete Carroll. I actually coached for the Seahawks for a couple of years.
Yeah, I got that.
And Pete Carroll, he's an ultimate competitor. He always says you either compete or you're not. And I know when I was first interviewing for the job, I'm like, man, this place is perfect for me. Like this fits right up my alley. So some of my main reasons for team sports is a competition, is a preparing. Even as a coach now, preparing for a team, dissecting them, seeing what they do best, seeing how they're gonna attack you, seeing how you can attack them. Like just a competition, man. Preparing for competition and go out there on Saturdays or Sundays. Right now I'm a high school coach, so it's Friday nights when football is back. Going out and helping these kids see what you see, helping these kids be better and achieve things. Those are some of my best memories, man. Just competing, and then also too, like the fans, man, the atmosphere. Some of those atmosphere playing in Carolina. Bank of America Stadium, playing in Soldier Field. I played for Chicago. Playing in Seattle. I already know what the name of the stadium was when we played there.
CenturyLink, but it was it's CenturyLink.
CenturyLink now. What was it? What it used to be?
The Kingdome. I don't know. Did they have? I don't know. Did they have a name after the Kingdome?
No, I thought these stadiums changed names. I thought it was something different. I don't remember it being. Was it Quest Field? I don't know. No, that's the big.
It might be. Just a little about me. So I was a 49ers fan my whole life. I grew up a 49ers fan, and it wasn't until I started getting money that I could afford to go to Seahawks games, and I started going, and I only wanted to see the 49er games all the time, and it was a Seahawks, and now I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm pot committed. Like, I'm all in on the Seahawks now. So I've only been around since it's been called CenturyLink.
Okay. Well, I could be wrong, but the whole point is the atmosphere, playing those atmospheres, man, it's crazy. The fans love it. The players love to feed off the fans, and it's just, there's nothing like it. I can remember my first game, my first regular, not postseason. Not preseason. Preseason is great, right? Night games, cool. But I remember my first NFL game with the flyover and Hy Robinson Pete singing the national anthem, and it was just flying by. There's no other moment like that, And then fast forward to when I played in the Super Bowl twice, one for Carolina, one for Chicago. That kickoff, those lights flashing down on you, like the atmosphere, man. The atmosphere of a team sport, going out there grinding together, man. It's nothing like it. It's surreal. So that's those are some of the moments why I love team sports.
Yeah, we had Bryant McKinney on a couple weeks back, Super Bowl winner as well. He told me that opening kickoff, he just stood there and looked around and watched all the lights.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy being under those lights, and it's just crazy.
That's right. You got a record in college for 45 consecutive games started. Is that still hold up?
I don't know if it was a record for college football. It may have been for UCLA, possibly. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna fire my stats guy.
Yeah, it may be for UCLA. I don't know if it still holds or not. It probably doesn't hold because I don't know if Eric Kendricks stayed off 4 years or not, or they leave.
Okay.
I did the third game of my freshman year.
Okay, take us back to 2003, the NFL draft. You got drafted to Carolina Panthers, 82nd overall. Where were you, and what were your feelings? Of course.
I was here in Fresno, right, at my parents' house on the west side of Fresno, kind of where I grew up at. Yeah, I was at my parents' house, and it was crazy because Carolina Panthers drafted me, and Carolina was an expansion team, a newer team at the time. And it was like, man, they wasn't any that good, and it was just like, I don't know, but my buddy Deshaun Foster was already on the squad, and then Mike Simon, our tight end at UCLA, also got drafted by them right before I did. So that was exciting. Also, Jim Skipper was a running back coach. His son, Kelly Skipper, was a running back coach at UCLA, played at Fresno State, recruited me to UCLA, one of the main reasons I went there. So I had people that I knew there. Rod Perry, the DB coach, is actually from Fresno. He's my coach at the time. So it was like, okay, it was a lot of familiar faces, so it was exciting. And then also too, like, hey, this is the NFL. Like, you made it, like, it's fine that moment. Like, I got something in the third round. I'm excited to go out and show and prove and compete. I was just thankful for the opportunity.
Your first interception came against Doug Johnson in only your second game. Do you still have that ball?
Of course.
Yeah.
I got all my balls. I got all my interceptions. What I did in the league too was I would if I got an interception, I would say those gloves. So I would take the gloves off, never wear them again. So I got all the gloves. I would just write on them, who got interception by, what team was against, and then I got all the balls.
Hey, do you have a favorite piece of memorabilia?
I mean, my Super Bowl jerseys are pretty spectacular, but I think one of my favorite ones is the NFC Championship game. My rookie year, where I had 3 interceptions. I was in front of Philly Sports the next day, popping my collar. Right, so big old thing. My agent cut it out and put it on a hardboard. That's probably one of my favorite. That's what I'm most remembered for. And how he capitalized it on the front of the Philly paper was pretty dope. I got the ski mask on. It's pretty legit. I like it.
Okay. 2003, 2004 playoffs in the NFC divisional game against the Rams. You picked off Mark Bugler. What the fuck? My notes guy sucks. He's getting fired. To set up the game-winning TD that put you guys in the NFL or the NFC Championship game. That was the one that Steve Smith got the winning TD after, correct?
Yep, that was it.
Okay.
Yep, 3 days later.
I know. We're still getting my stats guy's still getting fired. I just gave my partners usually here with me. By the way, the Mike that you talked to originally. Yeah. He's normally here every time. He's just running late. There's traffic, so he couldn't make it yet.
Yeah, I understand.
So I'm giving him shit. That's me talking about my stats guy. It's him.
Nice. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Ah, man. You know what? It's a couple, man. I used to really like The Program. Remember that movie, The Program?
Yeah, of course. I bring that up every time because I love that with James Caan.
Oh, that movie was so legit. When they used to do that practice, a little highlight practice.
Yeah.
Like, I used to love that movie, man. I used to watch it all the time. The Program was probably, I mean, there's a lot of great movies, but that was one of the ones early on. I
always remember from that movie where he goes to see his girlfriend again, and he pulls out the 6-pack from behind. You want to split a 6-pack, but it's pop instead because he's an alcoholic.
Yeah. yeah. That man. I used to love that movie, man. Omar Epps. Yep, Omar Epps was in that. I like it a lot, man. Speaking of Omar Epps, I also like when the track movie he was in, Higher Learning, right? Because I was shot on our campus at UCLA. I just like Higher Learning. Ice Cube was in that too, so big, West Coast. Ice Cube was in that. Remember the Titans? I mean, there's a lot of football movies, man, that or sports movies. I was trying to think of what else that's like those go-tos, as of late too. Yeah, I guess you can go with those.
Okay. Did you have a song you would listen to pregame, or like what would you find in your playlist going out before pregame?
Man, so I had different times in my life, man, where when I was playing, I like gangster rap, like I like Snoop, Dog Pound, East Siders. Like I used to bump the East Siders. I bumped Snoop. A big E40 fan, always bumping E40. I know you know from the Niners game, E40 be slapping.
Yeah.
Last one 40. I turned 40 this year. I told my wife, I said, hey, all month I'm playing E40 that month. My 40th birthday.
Yeah.
It's going to be E40. God, who else? Of course, Jay-Z, Biggie, Pac also too. When I was, he passed when I was in high school, but he still stayed up.
Tupac's my number one for sure. I put Game on my top 5, but I mean he doesn't deserve to be there, but that's a personal thing.
He got some play, man. But I also some of my East Coast cats. I'm a big Jada Kiss fan. Now I listen to a lot of more Christian hip hop. Just trying to feed my mind and my body with my mind and my soul, my spirit with some healthy things. So I'm a big Lecrae right now. Like, Lecrae goes hard. Andy Mineo, I don't know if you know that cat. Andy Mineo is this Italian dude that's got straight heat, Christian rapper, but he better than a lot of real rappers. Bizzle, this is my playlist as a late. KB, guys like that, man, that just crushing the Christian hip hop scene. As a lot of guys I listen to now. But yeah, back then, it said E40, East Side Boy, it was real hardcore rap.
We've actually done a lot of rap interviews. We've had Busy Bone on, Richie Rich, TQ, Little Flip, Tash from the Licks, J.O. Felony, Razkaz. Like, we've had all these guys on.
Razkaz is underground. I used to listen to Razkaz. Brother Lynch, all those Bay Area guys, yeah.
Yeah, we got Mr. Fab coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh, dope.
I'm working on that one. We don't have it finalized yet, but I'm manifesting my way to him. So
there you go.
Yeah, you always had great games against Seattle. 2 interceptions against Hasselbeck in one game, and then another during the divisional playoffs. Did you enjoy playing in Seattle, which you've already answered?
So let me tell you a funny story about that. First of all, I love playing in Seattle. Like the field, I one of the best fields I like playing at. I feel so fast. The turf was good, quick. The atmosphere, I always felt so good playing in Seattle. I didn't always have good games there, right? So before that game right there you're talking about, right? The year before that, play Hasselbeck, right? The year before that, I was at Carolina, right? We played Seattle in the NC Championship, and y'all whooped our butts, right? That's the year I went to the Super Bowl against Steelers, lost that. Well, we played you guys in the NFC Championship, and we were injured, and there's tons of excuses why we got blew out, but I didn't have the best game. I had an okay game, and freaking D-Jack was killing me. Jackson, it was Daryl Jackson, 82. He was doing some stuff inside, and Hasselbeck was selling this play action. Anyway, this was play that he kept getting me on. And it was crazy because that next year I went to Chicago. I am a free agent, and before we get there, right, in the off season, before I signed with Chicago, or maybe I signed with Chicago already, right, Hasselbeck would come out to LA, so I would always do one-on-ones. It'd be Carson Palmer be out there, Hasselbeck, some other quarterbacks, TJ Houshmandzadeh, Chad Johnson, a couple of receivers, and then a couple of us DBs go out and cover, right? So I remember going up against, I think it was TJ Houshmandzadeh, right? And Matt Hasselbeck was a quarterback, right? Freaking all over TJ's route, boom, pick Matt off, right? Matt started talking smack. I don't even know him really like that, right? Played against him, obviously, but don't know him like that. He's like, that's the last time he's going to pick me off. I'm like, bro, really? You gonna go there? Like, he gave me what? I think, okay, cool, right? So we go through the day. I don't pick off the rest of the day. Maybe break him up a little bit. Fast forward, I'm with Chicago now, and we playing them in that freaking Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Right? I picked him off 2 times, almost had him 3 times, right? One of those routes, one of the routes that I picked him off of, right? The first one he didn't see me at all, and he actually cut me off and caught me down the field, which I got so much crack because I let Matt Hasselbeck catch me. And the second one was a tip ball, right? A tip ball that got called back that would have been a touchdown, but I had one. It was one. Oh, I picked him off 3 times that year. Okay, so the first game of the year, right? The first game of the year, we smashed Seattle. It was Sunday night. That's the game I had 2 picks. Right? In the playoffs, Alexander came back and we barely beat him. I got a key pick in the 4th quarter. Well, that play that I got a pick on in the 4th quarter was the boot that he was killing me on the year before. They tried to run it back the same exact play, and I was like, "There's no way I'm getting beat by this play." Yeah, came right back to me. I had a curve perfect off Jackson, the same receiver and everything. Hasselbeck scrambled, and I'm like, he's bad. I thought this ball. He still threw it. Boom, got a key pick. Anyway, after that year, he was like, "I'm never throwing to you again in the offseason." I picked him out 3 times that year in 2 games, almost 4. And so that was a funny story. I picked him off in the offseason, and then and because of that, he was like, I had 3 picks against him in the regular season. He was like, "I'm not throwing to you ever again in the offseason. I don't care. I won't show up that day." So that was the cool time.
After Chicago, you headed to the Rams for a short stint before finishing your football career. What made you call it quits?
Man, really, it was a God thing, man. I broke my ankle. Right, I went to St. Louis to Rams at the time. I broke my ankle in week 4, right, and I broke my ankle with no contract, right, 1-year contract. So going to all season with a broken ankle and no contract, and it was just not a good time. I was a 6-7 year player, and I was like in the in between. My ankle wasn't all the way healed. And I played in the UFL. I got healed, played in the UFL, came back. But then there was a moment, man, in my life where I was like, I was a competitor. So I didn't know whether God had put it on my mission to keep pushing or to hang it up. So I went on a 21-day fast, man, called the Daniel fast, where I fasted for 21 days, man, just to kind of get an understanding and get it more clear. I couldn't hear clearly. I was clouded, and I thought that I was going to feel great coming out of that fast, and guys would be like, "Hey, ready for you to go back? Best you felt in your life. Let's go." But that's not what I heard from him, man. I heard, it's time to hang it up and go into your intended purpose, and that was to get back to that generation, man. So I immediately started. I remember telling my wife after I came out of that fast that I'm gonna retire, and she was like, "No, wait, hold on, like a couple more years." She wasn't ready, but I was like, "This is what God wants from me, man," and I'm gonna hear him. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna walk through this door, and I started immediately training kids and coaching was something I never thought I would get into. And when I got into it, I was like, "This is it. This is where I belong. This is where I be. This is why I need to stop playing and go into coaching." So that's kind of how I ended my career, man. It was like I said, it was a God thing, man. It was a God thing. It was my time. It was my time to step to the next part of my life.
What was it like being a part of the Seahawks organization?
It was awesome, man. It was awesome, hands down. I knew as soon as coming in there, I knew why all those kids wanted to play for Pete Carroll. He's a guy you want to play for. He's a guy you want to coach with. We had fun, man. That's one thing we did. We were immature. We just had fun in meetings, coaches, players. I remember coaches would walk underneath a door. I would just go over the top and just dunk on a coach. We did all kinds of stuff, and we just had fun, right? And then when it's time to handle business, we handled business. So it just made it a lot looser for us. It wasn't uptight, man. A lot of former players coaching. It was just a great atmosphere, man. And Coach Carroll was an awesome coach, man. I feel like I got my master's in coaching when I first got there, and just watching him and Chris Richard talk ball and other coaches too. I'm just like, man, this is awesome. So I love Seattle. And then the fans and the atmosphere and the VMAC, practicing right off the water, that was ridiculous. The facilities are top of the line. And we had great ownership, where he fed the whole staff. We would eat with the people upstairs, in different departments. Like it was an awesome experience.
Can you see yourself coaching again if the right opportunity came your way?
Yeah, definitely. I'm in coaching now, man. I was supposed to be with the Niners, man. I did the internship with them last year or a year ago. I'm real good with the coordinator Robert Saleh. I know their system obviously because I coached in Seattle and being there. So yeah, I'm just waiting for my opportunity, man. I definitely want to get back to the league. I even looking at college, UW was a place that I know. I know Jimmy Lake well. I know the DB coach there. Spent a lot of time up there. If there's an opportunity for me to get there, I definitely would try. So yeah, I'm just grinding, man, getting better as a coach. Dominating where I'm at, not overlooking where I'm at high school level. Helping develop coaches, helping develop players. I enjoy that. But I also enjoy myself getting better in ball, and preparing for the next opportunity the next door that God opens.
Yep. And you said UW. I mean, you obviously mean the University of Washington, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we go to the Husky games too. We head down there. We try to catch a Huskies game on Saturday, and then you stay for the Seahawks on the Sunday, and then come home Monday.
Perfect. That's perfect, man.
We actually seen Oregon last year. Herbert was there as a QB.
Nice.
Nice to get to see him before actually seeing him in the pros. But
yeah,
they have the whole pregame is awesome. You go to these college games and the atmosphere there is so much fun. Like you said earlier, you got the bands, and we don't even see that in our CFL. We don't have that kind of stuff, and college games are fun.
Yeah, it is. The college games are fun. The atmosphere. And UCLA, we used to walk through. We had this path that we walked through the fans before the game on the way to the stadium. It was pretty dope at the Rose Bowl. Like, just loved it, man. Loved it.
Gotta love college girls too.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for taking your time to spend it with me and let me drill you with some questions here. It went really well.
Definitely, man. Hey, my pleasure. Always love talking about ball, man. And wish you the best, Wish you the best, man. Thanks for having me on. Definitely. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ricky Manning Jr. Hey, I'll be joining you next on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Looking forward to seeing you. Let's get it.
All right. Thanks, Ricky.
Definitely.
And we'll talk soon. Give me a week or so to put it together, and I'm going to get some highlights. If you have any favorite highlights that you want or any links that you need me to click, I can help promote that stuff too if you want to send those over.
Yeah, definitely. No, I don't have any, man. Just whatever you can find, whatever you want to put on.
Yep.
I'm cool with.
Okay. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, bro. Appreciate it.
Hey, have a good night.